Hey Sunshine, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. I am a 28-year-old occupational therapist who lives in the beautiful Greenville, South Carolina. I started this page relatively recently because I'm just on a new journey and I thought that it would be fun to share it across different platforms. So I've officially started Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube more consistently and more, what's the word? I guess I'm more dedicated to it now than I have been in the past. My whole thing is that I am an OT who believes that occupational therapy steps into the fitness world a ton. I love fitness. My heart is with health and wellness and fitness, but my heart is also with OT. And so I want to merge the two. And so this whole page is just going to be a lot of occupational therapy, a lot of gym things, a lot of just lifestyle and a welcome to my life type of thing as I start on a lot of different endeavors. So I thought that I would just introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the page and about me. And so, yeah, let's get into it. So, like I said, I'm 28 years old and I live in Greenville, South Carolina. I am married to my high school sweetheart, who I love very much. And he is just my better half. He has gotten me into so many things, specifically right now, bodybuilding. So I am in my first prep for a bodybuilding show, which happens to be next weekend. So we're like deep into prep right now. If you know anything about bodybuilding, it's a wild time. But I will touch on that later in a different video because that's for a whole nother thing. But yeah, so my husband got me into it because he did multiple shows last year and he loved it. And so I was like, you know what? I want to try something new and I want to try something that he loves. What better thing to do than to spend time with each other, trying new things and doing new things. And so I broke my promise to myself because I died on the hill I would never do a show, but I did not keep to that promise. And here we are, 1 week away from doing an actual show. I hope you can still hear me with that there. I think so. Hopefully oh, what is that? I don't like that. Let's try that. So yeah, so we're doing a bodybuilding show that's kind of like all encompassing right now, but it's super fun and a lot of crazy life lessons and spiritual growth and all sorts of things have come from it. So I'm like super happy about it. So I'll touch on that later. We met in high school, like I said. My husband and I, we both played soccer and we kind of met each other through a mutual friend, but then just kind of kept running into each other and connected, and both just found chemistry in chemistry class. He hates that I say that, but we really got to know each other in chemistry class, so I'm going to say it until I can't anymore, and that'll be never, so he's going to have to deal with it. We moved to Charlotte for a little bit, and we tried to live up there for a bit. It didn't really work out. We left Charlotte. Let me backtrack. We graduated high school, and then we went to college. I went to grad school, and he stayed here and worked. And then we got married in 2022, and we've been riding the crazy ride of marriage since. We tried to make it work in Charlotte. Let me get back to that now. After we first got married, we both loved the idea of living in the city, but it just didn't really work out for multiple reasons, and that's okay. So we moved back to Greenville, and we've built our life here and reconnected with friends and family, and it worked out great. So we're here now. We have a crazy, psychotic, lovely, amazing, crazy Australian Shepherd. His name is Enzo. You will see him plenty in these videos, don't you worry. He likes to make his forceful appearance in anything that he can, so he will be present at some point. We love him very much. He is our little psycho boy, but we love him. Let's see, what else? What else can I tell you? Bodybuilding, soccer. Oh, I'm a doctor of occupational therapy. That is what I do for work, and that's what this whole page is about. Well, one of the things that this whole page is about. I found occupational therapy because I was in college and I didn't like the major that I was in at the time. And my now husband, he was talking to me, and he was like, you're really good with kids. Why don't you look into something with kids? And I was like, okay, let me just look around. So I did some research, and occupational therapy popped up, and I looked into it some more. And then I actually have a couple nieces and nephews who have been through occupational therapy, so I had heard about it before, and I just fell in love with the idea. So once I looked into it, I went full steam ahead, and that's what I did. I went to grad school at Jacksonville University down in Florida. If you just heard that thump, that was, oh, and that one, that's the crazy dog I told you about. I told you he likes to make his appearance. He will push the camera down if I let him in here right now, though, so I'm not going to do that. So, anywho, I went to Jacksonville University for grad school, and I started my career in pediatrics. I worked in an outpatient clinic with kids for about 7 months, and just, it wasn't for me. It wasn't what I actually thought that it's what I thought I wanted, and it ended up being not at all what I wanted. I did not feel connected to the pediatric setting. There is a huge need for it, and I'm so glad that there are therapists out there that do it, but it just wasn't for me. So I switched into the adult population, and I worked at a hospital doing acute care and inpatient rehab, but primarily inpatient rehab, which is basically where people go after they've been in the hospital for something, but they're not safe enough to go home. They come to intensive therapy, where they get 3 hours of therapy a day, PT, OT, and speech. And we make them stronger, more, like, we increase their endurance. We work on any sort of neuro re-ed, anything like that, to help them get back home safely and as independently as possible. Now, it doesn't always work that way, unfortunately, but we get a lot of really good stories and a lot of really tough stories. So I worked there for about a year, and then I transitioned to a hospital here that's closer to where we live, in Greenville. That other hospital was like a 50-minute drive, roughly. So that was a rough drive every day, especially because my hours are 7 to 3:30, so I was like dying. So I transitioned to Greenville, back into the Greenville hospital systems, and been in inpatient rehab since then. And then I just started with a company recently. I actually transitioned to PRN in the hospital, and which basically means like as needed in the hospital, and then PRN with another company that works on getting individuals that have sustained some sort of like neurological injury or disorder, so like a traumatic brain injury or a stroke or a spinal cord injury, those types of things. They help integrate them from hospital and rehab back into the home, and then eventually back into the community. So that's a really cool setting and very niche. I never expected to be in something like that, but I'm super excited. I just started with them though, so I'm not full swing in there yet, but I love what they're doing so far, and I'm super excited about it. So, and then on top of all of those different things, PRNs everywhere, I also just recently started an online coaching business that is called RW Fitness, which is what you'll see a lot of on this page. My hope for this page is to just provide a lot of education and a lot of daily life things that all kind of fall under the RW Fitness brand or idea. Right now, it is primarily lifestyle clients, so it's just like, I've been trained as an OT in functional movement, and I've been trained in what keeps somebody getting stronger and building their endurance and keeping their balance, all in the context of keeping them safe and happy and living as long as they can by themselves. So I translate that into my lifestyle clients, where I focus on building the whole person and not just one aspect. So I'm very much, or I'd like to think that I am very much a accountability partner in your physical health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, like all the things. I want to be the person that you can rely on, not just for physical health, because health and wellness is more than just your physical appearance. So yeah, I'll do a little bit more about RW, and I can kind of go a little bit more in detail in a different video, but it is there. And if you're interested in coaching, or if you want to learn more about it, just message me or follow me, or do the whole thing. You can reach out however you want. I'll put a link in the bio as well for coaching inquiries. That's like, it's just a little form that you can fill out that will give you like the initial contact to me, that then I can reach out and we can chat. So yeah, so RW is great. I'm super excited about it. What I'm most excited about for it is that I have a long-term goal of expanding it into more of a not just lifestyle, traditional like online coaching, which I love, but also another program that I'm in the middle of building right now that is all focused on active aging, active living and aging. So this is for it's for anybody, even though it says aging, it's everybody's aging, but it's for everybody, but it's specifically designed to focus on functional strength, balance, and fall prevention, where it's all about doing assessments and like, let's track progress. And it's more hands-on and it's in person. It can start in the home and then transition to a gym space. And then we just kind of go from there and see what, the client needs. So it's very client-centered. My excitement about that one is that I think that it really encompasses OT. It's not a true rehab service. I don't offer just, my own rehab service, but I offer training that will go to support whatever rehab, if somebody has had any, or will go to support maybe in place of rehab, if that's not in the cards or something like that. So very function-based, very holistic, very client-centered, and I'm really excited about that program, but I'm still building that one out a bit, so stay tuned for that one. So yeah, so hospitals, RW, OT, fitness, lifestyle, I love all things like that. My favorite color is green. I love to read. I'm a huge reader right now, which if you had asked me that 10 years ago, I would have told you were crazy because I hated reading. But I love reading. I'm your romantasy girly. However, I have found that recently I really am more of a fantasy and not just romantasy, because I am here for the plot. Like, I need a good plot. If there's just a whole bunch of romance everywhere, I can appreciate it, but I need a good plot. My top tier, I will die on the hill that this is the best series I will ever read, is Throne of Glass. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend. It's just so meaningful to me in weird ways that I can't explain. So I love that series and I will recommend it to anybody. Yeah, I think that's a lot right there, but you'll get to know me more as we keep going. Big part of my life, I played soccer all through college. So my fitness background, and part of why I wanted to go into some more individualized coaching, is because I have been involved in it since there's Enzo again. I've been involved with it since I was in high school, and I just fell in love with the weight room. I fell in love with lifting. I fell in love with the creation of the human body and like what it can do. I just find it fascinating. So I've been in the weight room since high school. I've learned a ton from all my coaches through the years. I got an exercise science degree in undergrad, and then I went on for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy. So I feel like I have a really good, solid foundation of experience with education that just come together and provide a really good coaching experience. Hopefully, everybody has to find the right fit. And if I'm not that, that's fine too. No big deal. No hard feelings. But so yeah, soccer, reading, RW fitness, hospital work, husband. Yeah, I think that's, Enzo. We can't forget Enzo. If you're interested, like and subscribe, join the RW family. I'm going to put tips, I'm going to put tricks and workouts and advice and just health and wellness, lifestyle tips and things like that. Might put some education pieces out there. Vlogs, like day in the life stuff. I'll probably put something out about my bodybuilding competition next week. I know you guys haven't been able to follow along quite as much on here because I'm just starting this, but if you look at my Instagram, then you will be able to find more information about that process. And I'll maybe make a video about that too, because it was a very cool thing. So, okay. Thanks for listening and staying this whole time. I'm so excited to get to know you and to engage with you. And yeah, welcome to the family. Welcome to my page. I will see you next time.